fucking A. Noises. It's Friday night. Friday the 13th, October 13th, 11:29 p.m. I am hanging out at the house alone, watching Rupert Sheldrake on YouTube. Planning on putting some movies on. I guess. About to eat. I think there's a chance I might have some company, which would be fucking... It's the word for absolutely incredible. But, you know, if not, at least I got my crazy YouTube ideas. So, come out here to get my laptop. It's just set up here where I work. Just all this mess of crap and notes and drawings and 3D printed things, and a 3D printer, which I love. But I need to give more love to a 3D printed woman who deserves a little bit of love. Batarang. Tools, ganja. I'd love to have more experiments and shit, but this is on the computer. I want to close it out. But it's going to change if I get internet. I don't have internet connection at the moment, so I don't have the ability to see the screen. No internet connection. So I'm out in the garage, and this thing's got a fucking Wi-Fi antenna, like... I was gonna try to make a joke about some races, sexual organs, but I just love, this is environment subreddit, going from low to high here. Shit makes me want to lose my mind. I literally just take it, get blackout drunk, drop it off somewhere. But I'm afraid I am losing my mind. It's because of shit like this. NASA satellite is sounding our atmosphere to understand fossil fuel emissions. The OCO2 spacecraft has been working hard to quantify the impact of humans on the global climate since 2014. These conservatives are making a case for clean energy. More than 300 conservatives from across the nation met with industry leaders, activists, businesses, and members of Congress. Well, that's fucking promising. PBS. Signs are showing that green economy investments will continue to be successful, and it will not see an end anytime soon. The world's first negative emissions plant is open in Iceland. See, these are good. This is kind of a crazy turn. Turning carbon dioxide into stone. Crazy in a good way, though. Environmental group to sue Trump administration over Pacific Walrus. Coal is going down even without the Clean Power Plan. To great applause, Paris announces combustion engine ban by 2030. The proposal would accelerate existing efforts to reduce air pollution in the city after French President Emmanuel Macron promised to ban the sale of vehicles with combustion engines by 2040. California wildfires aren't, quote, natural. Humans made them worse at every step. We fuel them, we build them houses. We build houses by them, we ignite them. Massive hole reopens in Antarctic sea ice, say scientists. From FinancialExpress.com. That's a weird. Trump taps climate skeptic for top White House environmental post. Quote, her stated allegiance with the fossil fuel industry makes her unfit to hold the highest environmental post in the government, unquote, Washington Post. EPA moves to repeal climate rule, likely to trigger lawsuits. They are creating their own reality, complete with rigged science and math, to justify doing nothing in the face of the greatest environmental challenge of our lifetime. That is not leadership. Power source, Post-Gazette. Scientists see climate change in California's wildfires. From Scientific American, Trump's sellout of American heritage. If you're surprised that wild salmon will be sacrificed for precious metal, remember that one of Trump's few passions is for gold-plated bathroom fixtures in the New York Times. Penguins die in catastrophic Antarctic breeding season. Oh, it makes me shudder. Almost no Puerto Rican households had flood insurance, and Trump killed Obama's flood protection rule. Trump EPA cooks the books to hide benefits of Clean Power Plan. The Scott Pruitt-led EPA puts the cost of 1 ton of emissions of carbon dioxide between $1 and $6 in the year 2020, a dramatic decrease of the previous administration's 2020 estimate of $45. Pacific Islanders crowdfunding the call-out hypocrisy at UN climate meeting in Germany. Greenpeace. The air quality in the Bay Area right now is as bad as Beijing. New airplane biofuels plan would destroy rainforests, warn campaigners. The Guardian. Overnight energy. Lawmakers grill Perry over rule to help coal nuke plants. The Hill. Data from a circling NASA satellite shows spike in carbon emissions worldwide, particularly in winter, along with new insights into the rising levels of pollutants that drive global warming, researchers said. Well, isn't it winter on one side of the planet while it's summer on the other? France 24. Maybe it's from French perspective. I was thinking American would be the EPA's move on Tuesday to undo the Obama administration's signature climate change rule will almost certainly trigger an onslaught of lawsuits from environmental groups and many blue states that have been bracing for that action since President Donald Trump took office. IslandPacket.com. Neil deGrasse Tyson on the difference between objective truth and personal truth. We now have people where the facts of climate change conflict with their political worldview. It's really a cultural worldview that manifests in politics. Jacksonville.com. The U.S. has withdrawn from a UN agency that teaches kids to read and protects ruins. UNESCO runs programs for education, preservation, and conservation. Motherboard.vice.com. I have to read that shit again because the U.S. has withdrawn from a UN agency that teaches kids to read and protects ruins. UNESCO runs programs for education. That's right. That's right. The Trump administration has handed a rare victory to environmentalists, ordering 2 big corporations this week to pay $115 million to clean up Texas' toxic waste site that may have spread dangerous levels of pollution during flooding from Hurricane Harvey. Associated Press. Fucking crazy. Ireland, Catholic population decreases by 6%. Quote, no religion, unquote, really increases by 74%. Let me read that shit again. I fucked it up. Ireland, Catholic population decreases by 6%. No religion increases by 74%. Beautiful. Crazy. What a trip. Washington Post, Facebook takes down data on thousands of posts, preventing researchers from understanding the full reach of Russian disinformation. Discouraging. What are some comments? They are running scared. In a short space of time, we have gone from Z, exploring, running for president, to red alert, damage control. It will not end well. Zuckerberg, exploring, running for president, to red alert. Nothing is going to happen. No one can touch the rich. Rich people lose their fortunes all the time. Facebook even has a demographic time bomb ticking. They're losing young teens to other platforms. Activists and journalists are becoming increasingly disillusioned by the censorship, and more studies are coming out talking about the health impacts of overuse. Zuckerberg is doing his best to destroy any social media competition. For the last several years, Facebook has been particularly aggressive when it comes to crime, copying any companies that threaten its market supremacy, but the company is gaining a lot of bad will. Humans are humans. We always say fuck you eventually. Trump threatens to withdraw aid from Puerto Rico. Washington Post. We all know that. It's shitty. Greenpeace activists set off fireworks inside a nuclear plant in eastern France early Thursday after breaking into the facility to underline its vulnerability to attack. France 24. That's a wicked action, but they didn't get in the plant. They got in the parking lot. Interesting. Came here to post. Bomb has been planted, but then I read the article and they didn't even make it to the site. Shake my head. Both bomb sites on nuke are inside the facility. Counter-terrorists win. They won even before even the pistol round. Amazing. God, I miss Counter-Strike. On top of building, not inside. Honestly, Greenpeace is targeting the wrong thing. Clean nuclear power is exactly what the world needs. I'm with you, Matthew 349 Hall. If anyone has been an example of the good that nuclear can bring, it's France. To my knowledge, they haven't had a meltdown and they've exported power to many EU countries for years now. I almost got a little chub there. U.S. to withdraw from UNESCO due to anti-Israeli stances. Net News. What will happen with all the currently declared U.S. UNESCO historical sites? The USA is still a member of the World Heritage Convention. General Assembly hasn't withdrawn the ratification of the 1972 convention, so no difference. They were sure to be destroyed. To shreds, you say? Well, how is his wife holding up? Fucking crazy Reddit threads. The US and UK, for that matter, have withdrawn and rejoined several times. Interesting. This really isn't just about Trump. There's a pretty long simmering thing going on between the US and UNESCO, which that totally rings true to me. I've been thinking that. I mean, I've been learning about Israel slowly but surely the last couple of years, and it's not a pretty situation. Obama had previously cut off funding to them, and UNESCO had stripped the U.S. of its vote, so really this move seems more like a formality than anything. A nice summary from the BBC. November 1945, UNESCO founded by 37 countries in the immediate aftermath of World War II. Its purpose, to contribute to peace and security by promoting collaboration among nations through education, science, and culture. 1974, Congress suspends U.S. contribution after UNESCO criticizes Israel and recognizes the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, but later rejoins. Under President Reagan in 1984, U.S. withdrawals from UNESCO, saying the agency is politically left-wing and financially irresponsible. 85, UK withdrawals, rejoining under change of government in 1997. U.S. rejoins under George W. Bush in 2003. 2011, U.S. withdraws funding in protest of Palestinian membership of UN. Arrears begin to accumulate. 2017, U.S. announces its withdrawal entirely. Israel says it will follow suit. I did not know, blah, blah, blah. Mayor of San Juan, Puerto Rico, said Trump is the hater in chief after Trump said the U.S. response to the crisis in the U.S. territory couldn't last forever. He is incapable of fulfilling the moral imperative to help the people of Puerto Rico. From thehill.com. Man, 2 posts in and already the Donald folks are out and angry. PBS NewsHour making sense. Jones Act holding Puerto Rico back debt crisis. Read up on the Jones Act. One of dozens of really effed up things we've done to keep a hold on Puerto Rico, and realize that Puerto Rico has basically been screwed over since day one. And Puerto Rico citizens are still considered American citizens. Are we just going to pretend that we just don't care about American citizens now? I really want to write a 10,000 character rant on this, but I'm too damn mad. Too long to read. If you're against bailing out Puerto Rico, you should be equally against bailing out any other area with American citizens after a nasty natural disaster like that. Don't forget that Trump caused Puerto Rico to eat the $32 million for his bankrupt golf course financed with their bonds. Oh God! The world's first negative emissions plant has begun operation in Iceland, turning carbon dioxide into stone. Beautiful story. The Guardian, magic mushrooms reboot brain and depress people. Patients unresponsive to conventional treatments benefit when treated with natural psychoactive compound, but researchers warn against self-medication. I didn't see that last, but warn against self-medication followed by dramatically exaggerated wink. I like that top comment, and we'll leave it there. The dark web's largest pedophile site was secretly run by police for a year. Yeah. So tax dollars were spent running a child porn site, even up to the government distributing child porn intentionally so they could identify victims and producers. That is a bitter pill. The ethics involved in making these decisions are far beyond anything I want to imagine. I'm leaving that one. Hundreds of Jewish teens run riot in Muslim part of Jerusalem's old city, shouting, throwing rocks, attacking Palestinian shop owner. Haaretz.com. That's a horrible fucking thought. Horrible fucking thought. Penguin disaster as just 2 chicks survived from colony of 40,000. That's heartbreaking is right. Canada passes law to protect whistleblowers and journalists. Confidential sources. OpenParliament.ca. That's beautiful. Myanmar soldiers were seen stabbing babies, cutting off boys' heads, gang raping girls, Shooting 40mm grenades into houses, burning entire families to death, and rounding up dozens of unarmed male villagers and summarily executing them. The New York Times. What the fuck? I don't know what else to say. I'm getting shivers down my spine. Oh, shit, this is good. This is from... what sub? Melbourne. This is Trump. Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and the White House phone at the bottom. Subject tends to tweet, not right. Oh, and this is all SolidWorks stuff. Closed it down. Disconnect from the printer. So I can take this thing inside and watch movies like a fucking geek. Just put it to sleep. Bam. Alright.